How cool is this? So that's the box, right?
Oh,
that's
so
the
jealous.
front.
So jealous. Yeah.
That's the back.
It splits open. Yeah.
And there's Angel 3
Fucking hell.
underneath.
That is a great box set. Who put that one out?
Vinegar Syndrome.
Oh. Love
And
it.
then inside you get the. I mean, it's a bit disappointing in terms of extras.
Does it have number 4 in there? Oh, let's talk about it on the show.
Yeah.
From that's the Coral Sea from the soundtrack to Avenging Angel by Split Enz. That song, mate. The Angel series, like we spoke about one of the Angel films for a little bit. When was it? A couple of weeks ago, and it really inspired me to go and revisit.
I thought it was. I don't think we talked about it. I think you watched that Ty West video where he talks about how. Oh, maybe we talked about when we were talking about Maxine.
Yeah, perhaps
Because he was talking about how it inspired.
Either way, you and I sort of had Angel on the tips of our tongue for a few weeks, and so I went back and I watched the original again. Like that's just obviously fucking classic. But Avenging Angel, I don't think I have seen it before. I thought I had, but when I watched it, I'm like, no, this is fresh to me. So I went back and watched it, and what? Wow, bizarre. This is a fucking weird, wonderful, batshit crazy, fucking mental movie.
Yeah, look. As it turns out, like I've owned Angel, all the Angels on VHS, all 4 Angels on VHS. I own the 3 on DVD and now the 3 on Blu-ray. And I can tell you, should a 4K be released, I will be upgrading to 4K. But I had only ever watched Angel.
I am jealous as all fuck that you have that many because I don't own any of them, and I need.
Actually,
to go
I tell a lie. I'd seen Angel and I'd seen Angel 4, which is.
Angel 4.
And I actually, when we released Angel, because that's in the end, that's why I saw it back in like 2012 or something. We put it out on DVD, and I commissioned John Harrison to write a comparison piece.
Yep.
Of all 4 Angel films. Did I do that for the release, or did I do it for a? At one point, I was trying to start up a fanzine.
Yep.
And the fanzine, the theme of the first issue was movies where women go undercover as cops.
Yeah.
So go undercover as prostitutes or strippers.
Yep. Yep.
Talking about all of those movies, and of course the Angel films fit right into that category, along with other classics like Stripped to Kill.
But have you ever seen so many fucking batshit crazy characters in one film? Like, it's so odd.
In Avenging Angel?
Oh, either 1 or 2. Like, because number 3 is a bit more straight shooting than the first 2. But one.
Yeah, look, Angel 3, which I actually watched it today.
Yep. Which
I hadn't seen before, and look, it is a little bit more by the numbers. Funnily enough, I mean, it's directed by Tom D. Simone, who, aside from also directing things like Reform School Girls, and stuff, and if you watch the film, you will see a poster of Reform School Girls in the in Angel's. It's Angel's house, but in her friend's house that she stays. But he also directed a lot of pornography, and pound for pound in Angel 3. There is a lot more. Yeah, there's a lot more boobs.
There is, particularly in the opening act. If I recall, the first 15 minutes is full of them.
Yeah, no, that carries throughout the film. Like the opening scene of Angel 3 is like she's actually working as a press photographer. It's remarkable how it changes. So in the first film, Angel is an honor student by day, prostitute by night.
Yep.
But then the conceit is that the police detective from the first one that kind of takes her under his wing, helps her get out of the street life, and she's going in the second one. She's going to law school.
Yeah, that's right,
and she's doing really well in law school. Then by the third one, she's become a photographer.
Yeah, that's right,
and she's a freelancer working for like newspapers and stuff like that. Then by the fourth one, she's still a photographer, but she does photos for bands and stuff.
But she's always got an excuse to go back to the streets in a mini skirt and fucking fishnets.
Yeah, because because they won't talk to real people. They'll only talk to other people from the streets.
Oh my god! It's number 2 is so crazy. I do love like they've got recurring characters, coming back, particularly like Suzanne Tyrell, who is probably angrier than ever in part 2. I don't know why she's so fucking angry, and she's got this baby in her care. That the only reason the baby's there is so they can throw it off a balcony at the end.
At the end, yeah, it's an amazing plot device, that baby.
Yeah, but I find it so bizarre that go on.
Well, the thing that's so weird though is that in the first one, Susan Tyrrell is in the first one, and she's like Angel's landlord.
Yep.
Angel kind of, she for school she gives off the facade that she's living. Her father has run out on them, and she's living with her mother who's ill. So the reason she can't do any extracurricular activities or anything is because she's got to get straight home to look after her mum, when in fact she's heading straight home to go work as a prostitute to pay her bills and her tuition.
Yeah.
And the second one, when she goes back to the streets after the conceit of the second one is that the police lieutenant comes to visit her at law school, then goes back and during an undercover sting is killed.
Yep.
By a bunch of gun thugs, which is a fucking like it's such a weird film because the opening 5 minutes of her at university, and I'm pretty sure it goes for 5 minutes. You're like, it's a very kind of standard kind of 80s Hollywood kind of movie.
Yep.
Then the next 5 minutes is possibly the coolest opening to a film of all time. The soundtrack is fucking amazing. It's like literally follows a bunch of thugs who break into a police officer's house while she is showering, and she has it's the Karen something or another. She has just got this. It's the most gratuitous nude scene I think I've ever seen in a film, but it is strictly amazing. She's working undercover, so she gets out. She's in the shower for a good. It intercuts between the lieutenant driving on the streets of Hollywood, going past all the weirdos and the freaks, a la the big opening scene of Pretty Woman, cutting in between her and the shower, just soaping her breasts repeatedly. Like those breasts are sparkling by the end of that scene. It is like really awesome synth soundtrack. Then the gun thugs break into her house, blow away her parents, because when you're an undercover cop, you've got to live at home. You can't live by yourself. It's just too much trouble. You're still living at home on a police salary. You can't afford to live in Los Angeles. It just doesn't make any sense. They blow away her senior citizen parents, and then they take her down, and then as they're running away, that's when the lieutenant turns up and they blow him away as well. This is literally all in the opening 10 minutes of that film. But so then Angel comes back to try and solve his murder, and she reconnects with Solly and with
that's right.
Kid Carson and all her old street buddies.
Not before breaking him out of a mental asylum.
Well, yeah, of course, yeah. How can I forget? In a mortuary van, a pet cemetery van. They with the world's most comedy relief night guard watchman.
Oh, and Susan Tyrrell is like creeping through the corridors, like
like the blood run free, creep.
Matron.
It's an amazing sequence. The whole movie, and it ends like that whole end sequence. You're talking about the baby.
Yeah,
that's in the hotel at the end of. That's the same hotel that they use at the end of Vertigo and everything.
Amazing.
Like that's that famous.
Yeah.
Hollywood that all movies use. But in the third one, she reconnects. Basically, she's abandoned. In the first film, she's completely abandoned. Both her parents run out. Her father leaves.
Yep.
Then 3 years later, her mother just decamps and leaves her on her own. So in the third film, she reconnects with her mother. And her mother is like, I left you with Solly because I knew she'd be a better mother than I would ever be. Solly is literally just the landlady of the flea pit hotel that she lives in. She is not looking after Angel at all.
Not only that, like the dialogue with this reunion between mother and daughter is so like it pivots from like how could you leave me to like I've never forgotten you. Like it's just such a weird bonding moment that happens within 30 seconds. But then also like the salt in the wound for Angel is she gets a call from her mum to say my other daughter's missing and I'm never going to see her again and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. Will you help me find this sister? Like I never gave a shit about you for 14 years, but help me find the sister you never knew. Fucking hell. Just outrageous.
I was
reading I was reading that the one of the reviewers, I think it was the Village Voice, described the entire series, or at least the first three, as a sort of Godfather trilogy of teen prostitution. That's a perfect description.
Yeah, I will say that the funny thing is that I'm pretty sure, and it's been a while since I've seen Angel. The tits do flow through these films, but the one person who never gets their tits out is Angel.
Correct.
None of the Angel iterations. Betsy Russell, who was prior to this, had already done Tomboy and Private School, so it was already no stranger to nudity. Mitzi Capshaw, who I don't know, was the star of Silk Stalkings. That's what I always knew her from. Does not take her clothes off.
It wouldn't be appropriate.
That she actually goes to work as a porn star.
It wouldn't be appropriate for Angel to
get even when she goes back undercover on the street, she doesn't really pull any tricks. She just wears
and I think too, like, maybe go on.
One of my favorite pornos of all time is this. It's not even a porno. It was a scene from E-Fucked where this guy Mark Quasar was shooting a film, and it was called it was all about teen, innocent teens #7 or something like that. And the girl who showed up was looked like she was 18, just 18, but when she took her clothes off, she had a devil's tattoo all around her vagina. So her vagina was like the mouth of this devil. And it just cuts to him on the phone to her agent going, the whole plot of the movie is that there's a young innocent girl. I can't cast this girl and in Angel 3, she decides to go undercover in this porn ring, and she's standing there while her kind of male friend sets it up for her, and she goes, "Oh yeah, no, totally. She's very attractive, girl next door type." But instead of turning up there as a girl next door, she turns up as Angel in her, tight spandex dress and big hair and blue eyeshadow and all that sort of stuff. And even the guy is just like, "Oh, you said you were like a girl next door. Like, what the hell is this?"
Oh my god. I love that we've this is all just this is all just coming off a song that we played on the show.
Yeah, that's such a good series. I think that the opening song, whatever it is in Angel, I fucking loved it. You know what? The other scene I liked in Avenging Angel was when it's what's his name is in it too. Who I'm always surprised when I see him in anything outside of a John Carpenter movie.
Yeah,
but what's his name? The guy who plays he's one of the punks at the beginning of Assault on Precinct 13.
Don't know.
What's his name? Gotta look it up.
All right,
cut this bit out. He's the son. He's the son of the bad guy.
Oh, not Frank Doubleday or something.
Yeah, it's that. Yeah, Frank Doubleday. The scene where Frank Doubleday and his father go to Solly's place to sort out what the hell's going on with Angel and Solly, and the two cross-dressers are looking after the baby. They left the baby with these two cross-dressers, and they just think that they're women, and I think it's going to be an easy job to outmuscle them. But then the two cross-dressers literally for about 2 minutes in the fight beat the shit out of them.
Turn into bloke mode.
Yeah, just all of a sudden they're just like punching and kicking and like throwing these guys around the room, throwing their heads through glass panes.
And that's kind of a throwback to the first one with the finale there as well.
Yeah.
But
it's just such an amazing sequence.
Before we push the show on, I've got to say my favourite thing of all from Avenging Angel is the character of Johnny Glitter. Every time he exits or enters, he fluffs the glitter in the air. It's like it's a really serious moment. They're coming out of a building and he has to shush the fucking glitter into the air. Yeah. It's like hilarious. I just love it. Everything about it, it's weird.
I love that. I mean, and the funny thing is, I was listening to the interview with the writer-director on the Avenging Angel extras, and he said like through the whole thing, it was supposed to be Donna Wilkes was supposed to be the star of Avenging Angels.
Yeah.
And Avenging Angel, and they were literally, he was talking to her on the phone, talking about the role, the whole thing, but she wanted more money.
Yeah.
And in the end, they just ended up casting Betsy Russell without telling.
I mean, it's not unreasonable to want more money to be a lead actress in this. To be a lead actress in the sequel, it's not unreasonable to ask for a bit more money.
No, and as he says, he goes, it went theatrical for 13 weeks. It was a hit.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
so totally justifiable for Donna Wilkes to want more money.
But I do love that they bring back the detective or whatever, the cop in part 2, but they recast him in a completely different kind of look. Like the guy's younger, he's handsome. It's like, why, at least if you're going to change the actor, not make him resemble the character from the first one? Because for the viewer, it takes a little bit of connecting the dots to go, oh, hang on, that's the guy from the first one.
Yeah. I guess this would have been almost before VHS.
Yeah.
So it would have been a couple of years between having seen the original Angel, unless it played on like late night TV or something. So maybe they thought people just aren't going to know.
Yeah, they pulled a Phantasm 2 and just expected people to go with it.
Yeah, and I totally did.
Yeah, same.
I was like, I completely understood. I knew going into it that every Angel film has a different. So it's Donna Wilkes, Betsy Russell, Mitzi Capture, and Darlene Flugel, I think, in Angel 4.
Oh my goodness!
No one ever returns.
No,
except for Kit Carson and who's Kit Castle? What's that guy's name?
Well, you have Yo-Yo Charlie comes back for part 2 as well.
Rory Calhoun. Yeah.
Yep.
Rory Calhoun and Susan Tyrell.